In your 20s, you can mess up. You can buy a car you can't afford, rack up some credit card debt, or live way beyond your means. And usually, time will bail you out. You have 40 years of career ahead of you to fix the math. But when you hit your 40s, the game changes. Your 40s are the halftime of your financial life. You're likely at your peak earning years, but you're also at the peak of your responsibilities, kids, aging parents, and that invisible clock ticking toward retirement. In your 40s, a bad financial move isn't just a learning experience, it's a permanent dent in your future. Today, we're going to look at the 7 worst purchases you can make during this decade. These are the wealth killers that look like status symbols but act like anchors. If you're in your 40s or approaching them, you need to hear this, because the system is designed to make you spend exactly when you should be consolidating. Number 1. The status luxury car and the 7-year loan. Look, I get it. You've worked hard for 20 years. You're a manager, a director, or a senior professional. You feel like you should be driving something that reflects that. There's this massive psychological urge in your 40s to prove you've made it. So, you walk into a dealership and see that $80,000 German SUV. The salesperson tells you, hey, with your credit, the monthly payment is only $1,100. In your 40s, that $1,100 payment is toxic. Why? Because that's $1,100 that isn't going into your brokerage account or paying down your mortgage. Over a 5-year car loan, that's $66,000 in principal alone, not counting interest and the staggering depreciation. By the time you're 50, that car is worth $25,000, and you've lost the most critical compounding years of your life. The worst part isn't the price, it's the opportunity cost. If you took that same $1,100 and put it into an S&P 500 index fund starting at age 42, by the time you're 62, that single car decision could have been worth nearly $500,000. Was the leather seat and the badge on the hood worth $500,000 of your retirement? Probably not. Number 2. The Forever Home upgrade with a new 30-year mortgage. This is the most common trap for the middle class in their 40s. You've lived in your starter home or your decent home for 10 years. You have equity. You've seen your neighbors move into bigger, shinier houses. So you decide to trade up. You sell your house, take your $200,000 in equity, and put it toward a $700,000 house. Here's the catch. You just signed a new 30-year mortgage at age 45. That means you'll be making house payments until you're 75. In your 40s, your goal should be debt freedom, not debt expansion. When you upgrade your home, it's never just the mortgage. It's the higher property taxes, the higher utility bills, the expensive landscaping, and the pressure to fill those extra rooms with new furniture. You become house poor, exactly when you should be investment rich. If your house eats 40% of your take-home pay in your 40s, you aren't an owner, you're a tenant of the bank. And you've just pushed your retirement date back by a decade. Number 3. Funding the perfect college experience for your kids. This one is controversial, and it hits close to home. As parents, we want to give our kids everything. We want them to go to that $60,000 a year private university or that out-of-state school because it's their dream. But here is the cold, hard truth. There are loans for college. There are no loans for retirement. If you are cashing out your 401k, taking out Parent Plus loans, or draining your home equity to pay for a degree that your child could get at a state school for a fraction of the cost, you are making a catastrophic mistake. You are essentially asking your future self to live in poverty so your 19-year-old can have a fun 4 years. The best gift you can give your children is your own financial independence. If you go broke paying for their college, they will end up having to support you when you're 80. That's a much bigger burden than them having a few student loans. Be the bad guy now so you aren't the dependent later. Number 4. The vacation home or the timeshare trap. In your 40s, you start dreaming of escape. You think, we love the beach. Why don't we just buy a condo there? We can rent it out on Airbnb and it'll pay for itself. It almost never pays for itself. A vacation home is a second set of headaches. It's double the maintenance, double the insurance, and a constant mental weight. And Airbnb is no longer the passive income goldmine it used to be. It's a hospitality business that requires constant attention. More importantly, it locks you into one destination. You feel forced to go there every vacation because we're paying for it anyway. Your 40s and 50s are when you should have the freedom to travel the world, not be a slave to a second property in Florida that needs a new HVAC system every 3 years. If you want to go to the beach, just rent a nice place for a week. It's significantly cheaper, and when you leave, the repairs aren't your problem. Number 5. High-risk, get-rich-quick speculation. There is a specific kind of panic that sets in at age 45. You look at your retirement balance and realize you're behind. You feel like you need to catch up fast. This is when people become vulnerable to the big play. Maybe it's dumping your life savings into a speculative crypto coin, a friend's guaranteed startup, or a complex options trading strategy you saw on YouTube. You feel like you don't have time for 7% returns anymore. You need 700%. This is financial suicide. In your 40s, you don't have enough time runway to recover from a 100% loss. If a 25-year-old loses $50,000 on a bad trade, it sucks, but they can recover. If you lose $250,000 at age 48, that's it, you're done. You've just deleted a decade of work. In your 40s, the goal is capital preservation and steady growth. Don't let FOMO, fear of missing out, turn your 50s into a nightmare. Number 6. The midlife career pivot, using retirement funds. I'm all for following your passion. If you hate your corporate job at 44, you should absolutely look for a change. But the mistake is buying a career. I see people all the time who decide to buy a franchise they know nothing about, or open a restaurant because they always liked cooking. And where does the money come from? They liquidate their 401k or take a massive loan against their house. Starting a business is hard. Starting a business under the pressure of needing it to replace a 6-figure salary immediately while you're burning your retirement cash is almost impossible. If you want to pivot, do it lean. Start it as a side hustle. Test the waters. But never, ever set fire to your safety net to buy a dream you haven't stress tested. Number 7. Excessive lifestyle creep renovations. This is the Pinterest trap. You've worked hard and you want your house to look like a magazine. So you spend $100,000 on a kitchen renovation, marble countertops, custom cabinets, professional-grade appliances that you'll probably only use to heat up pizza. Here's the reality. Renovations rarely give you a 1-to-1 return on investment. If you spend $100K on a kitchen in a neighborhood where houses only sell for $500K, you've just over-improved your home. You'll never get that money back when you sell. In your 40s, we tend to justify these purchases by saying, we're gonna live here forever. But forever is a long time, and your needs will change. Those $100,000 could have been the difference between retiring at 60 or being forced to work until 70. Luxury is nice, but financial peace is the ultimate luxury.
The bottom line. The common thread in all these mistakes is ego. In our 40s, we feel we deserve to look successful. We want the house, the car, the kids in the elite school, and the fancy kitchen. We want the world to see that the last 20 years meant something. But true success in your 40s isn't about what you can buy, it's about what you own. It's about the zero-debt balance sheet. It's about the peace of mind knowing that if you got laid off tomorrow, you'd be fine for 2 years. It's about the freedom to say no to a job you hate because you aren't a slave to your payments.
If you're in your 40s, stop trying to impress people who don't care about you with money you need for your future. The squeeze is real, but you can beat it by being the most boring, disciplined, and strategic person in the room. Take a look at your spending this month. Is it building your legacy, or is it just building a facade? Choose the legacy. Thanks for watching. If you're in your 40s and you've made one of these mistakes or avoided one, tell me your story in the comments. We're all learning together. I'll see you in the next one.